It's in. Another wide open three.
Welcome, everybody, to the Aussie Suns Fan Season 2, Episode 9 podcast. We have our famous every week type of people, Hamo and Nate. Welcome along.
Hello, thank you.
Great to be here.
And we had to bring Ash in this week because Boyd got it fucking wrong. So he had to have someone else come in and cover his shift because he acted like a bitch. Ash, how you going?
Really good, gents. Thanks for having us back, mate. It's really exciting. And Boyd, I'll take the heat for you, mate. It's all good.
Yeah, I spoke to Nate before. We're gonna treat you like Boyd this week. So you're gonna basically cop everything Boyd would have copped.
Bring it on.
Yep.
Except I'll start by giving you a compliment. It's a great outfit. I'm loving that Western Conference final stuff.
How good is it?
Boyd just wears his work clothes. So.
Yeah. and throws a hat on to try and make himself look good.
Exactly.
We'll go straight into game comments. First game of the week, Golden State, a win, 104-96, 8 and 24 points, 8 and 11 rebounds, CP3 11 assists, JaVale 2 blocks, Chris Paul 5 steals, Bridges 4 steals and a block. Against Detroit, a win, 114-103, Cam Johnson 19 points, which is the most disappointing thing. I thought Boyd would be here to blow wind up his ass. 8 and 12 rebounds, CP3 12 assists and Bridges 4 steals. And Golden State, of course, the last game of the week was a loss, 118-96, 8 and 23 points, McGee 7 rebounds, CP3 8 assists and Crowder 3 steals. How'd we see the week, Hamo?
First game versus Golden State was great. Amazing game. Left us on a pretty good high. Going into Detroit, even better. We got past that. I mean, if we'd lost, that would have been funny. But
based on last week's pod, it would have been funny.
Not funny for us, but of course, we can beat every decent team in the league, and then, we fall to Charlotte or someone. And but then, yeah, of course, the Golden State game on Saturday was a bit harder of a pill to swallow. None of us knew that Booker was going to go down this week. So, but yeah, that's my weekly wrap up. Other than I was going to tell Boyd, so Ash, I'm not going to say I told you so. In the shade of Sheldon from Big Bang, I informed you thusly.
All right, well, off the back of that, Ash, how'd you see the week, mate?
I wasn't really disappointed. I feel that that first Golden State game, 2 words, Mikal Bridges, outstanding. That was the best 2-point game I've ever seen in my life, I think. We just got done against the Pistons. Once again, I think we slackened off towards the end of the game, like it seemed to. Game 2.0 against the Golden State Warriors. I felt if I was going to be guessing last week, I probably would have picked that one to be the end of our streak as well. So Boyd, sorry mate, I'm going to go against you, but I'm overall with the week. I was really happy. I was a little bit concerned when Mikal went down, and I feel like we were behind from the start, and it just really didn't have a good vibe about that game. So I'm still pretty happy with the week. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Absolutely. Nate, what were your thoughts?
Mate, what a cracker to start it off. We knew it was going to be a good week, especially with the 2 Golden State games. The minute that the end of the half, end of the second, where Booker did his hamstring, we knew there was going to be a wheelbarrow of shit and a big fucking hill in front of us for the rest of the week. Mm-hmm. That first game was just incredible. To hear Mikal Bridges get the praise he deserved.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to waste too much time talking about the Detroit game, but we all watched it to make sure we saw that 18th win. So that was great. And then I went into the second game against Golden State really friggin' annoyed because I made the mistake of watching the pre-game, and there was the interviews with Stephen A. Smith, and I just wanted to reach for the TV and just slap him stupid. It just
He
pissed
hates
me
us.
off. He really does, and he should take his $10 million salary and jump in front of one of your dumpsters, I reckon.
Yeah, it was look, that first win was phenomenal. Book out before halftime. Really, as soon as he went out, I thought, how are we going to do this? From the start of that game to the end of that game. And the real positive for me was McCall was great, but how much Aiton stood up in that game. Just getting that win was so huge for national media coverage, everything else. Not only that, McCall got all of the coverage, everything, because Steph Curry sucked ass, and it was great.
They're finally starting to recognise.
We came out
that
against
preamble?
Detroit.
Did you watch any of the pre-game while we're talking about Aiton?
No, I didn't see.
I had to laugh because Jalen Rose was on the same panel as Stephen A. Smith, and Jalen Rose was talking up Aiton, and wasn't he the one that made up the completely factured stuff and then bailed the country? And now he's in the preamble arguing against Stephen A. Smith, saying Suns are the best team, and Aiton's playing so well because he didn't get his contract and he's still got something to fight for. And I'm just listening,
Trying to make up for it.
You dick.
Well, yeah. And didn't he do that in that game? If it wasn't for Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton was the best player on the court.
100%.
But Detroit was, well, we were flat.
Detroit.
We just did what we had to do. The second Warriors game, to be honest, I think even turning the game on, I sort of went, we're done. We've done what we wanted to do. That game was always going to be flat. And it was. It really was from start to finish, we were flat. So
it was real hard, like going into it, knowing that we didn't have Book. You know, it was no one knew what to expect back to back, but at least we, we still walked away with the W. I mean, that's all that really matters.
We lost.
What are you talking about, Detroit?
No, Golden State.
Golden State. Sorry, edit that out.
No, I'm leaving it in. Back to you, guys.
So, even turning the game on that day, I sort of went, we're going to struggle here. Golden State, coming off the loss, were always going to want to bounce back hard, and we just didn't have that. Look, CP3 is a killer in the clutch and when times get hard, but he needs Book as well. And I thought we'd always struggle with that, and we did. So that was that. Doesn't matter. 18 in a row, we win.
Yep.
Franchise
19
record.
and 4 on the season.
18 in a row.
Legal.
Franchise record. All that matters. We saw what an aberration that was the day after when Golden State got flogged by San Antonio. They might have only lost by 5, but they got pumped all game by San Antonio.
Yeah, they were knackered, man.
Yeah. All right, move into MVP of the week. I've got 3 nominations. You guys, as per normal, can throw up any others. My nominations, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and Mikal Bridges. We'll start with you, Ash. Who's your MVP of the week?
I think the last couple of weeks you guys have had real standouts. This week, I think I'm going to have to go with Mikal just for the job he did on Steph in the first game, and he was solid again in the second. I'm going to go
dislocated his finger in the third,
and come back out and kept going he's heart and soul, blue collar. They're the sort of players I love. I just love the guys that do the dirty work. Give me Macau.
He's never missed a game so far.
Yep.
Nate, I'm going to make you go second.
Mate, I'm not going to go with Mikhail. I'm going to save that one because if we're talking about MVP, we're talking about, consistently contributed the most to the winning. I do see your point with Aiton, although I thought he looked clumsy in so many spots and not as consistent as you'd want to give a trophy to. So I'm going to give it to CP3 for his consistent leadership, and I don't think if he wasn't on the court, any of that would have happened. So CP3 gets my MVP vote.
Yeah, cool. We've got 2 different nominations. Hamo?
I'm going to take that trophy that you just gave to CP3, break it over his head, and give it to the right. 3 games. Gav went through it before. We had the first game against Golden State, 24-11-2. Detroit, 17-12-2. The second game against Golden State was 23-6-2. Considering that book was out, I think that's an amazing effort and, yeah, definitely worthy of, MVP of the week.
No, tough one, but the Godfather has to make the call. I'm with Hamo. DeAndre Ayton this week was sensational. When Booker was out, he stood up. He did the right thing. He still shot at 72% for the week. Had a fantastic week. On the boards against Golden State in the last game, probably wasn't as good as any of us would have liked him to be. But at the end of the day, he was still hitting the scoreboard, especially when Booker went out against Golden State. He carried that offense. So for me, DeAndre Ayton, therefore 2-1-1, DeAndre Ayton, MVP of the week.
How good is it that we can choose 3 different players? That's great.
Yeah.
Team basketball.
Defensive player of the week, I've got 2 nominations. Last week was cut and dry. I think this week is still cut and dry, but I did throw the second one up mainly because he's still a fucking pest and one of the best defensive players in the NBA, in the NBA history, really. But I've got Mikal Bridges and Chris Paul. Ash, defensive player of the week.
And I think you're 100% correct by saying it's definitely between the 2. Mikal had just that one outstanding game, and his other 2 games were what we would probably take as normal for him. Whereas CP3 in the other 2 games I thought was really, really good. So I'm going to give it I'm going with CP3. I think he was a little bit more consistent over the week, but that's taken nothing away from Mikal. That first Warriors game was ridiculous.
Nate?
Mikhail, I am going to challenge you on one of the, what did you say, best in history already? Come on, it's a bit of a stretch yet, but you'll get there.
One of the...
Anyway, I'm not going to argue it.
You don't think Chris Paul is one of the best defenders?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bridges when you said
No,
that.
I'm talking about Chris Paul.
Okay, that's different. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm still going with Bridges. All the grit and the grind this week. Doing that with your finger, coming straight back out, and he can't be offensive, but he can still play the D. Yeah, that gets my vote.
Hey, mate.
Well, now we know that what Nate looks for in a basketball player, someone that can play the D.
Loves the D.
He loves the D.
The D.
That being said, I am siding with Nate on this. Ash, you're wrong. Bridges definitely stood out. Easy and short.
Yeah, hard to argue. I agree with you, Ash, in the fact that Bridges against Golden State in the first game was an absolute standout. Bridges and CP3 were, I think, level for game 2. And CP3 was probably our best defender in the last game. But you cannot go past the absolute job that Mikal Bridges did on Steph Curry in that first game. he would have done it again if he didn't smash his finger into pieces, but still come on and defend in the last game. So I'm going Bridges again.
There we have it.
Mikal Bridges should be all NBA defensive and probably should be in the discussion for the Defensive Player of the Year. All right, so the week ahead, this week sucks. We've only got 2 games. Tuesday at 1 p.m. versus San Antonio. Saturday, 2 p.m. versus Boston. We know what Boyd would do, but Ash, what do you got?
I'm backing Boyd up. We're going to go 2-0 pretty comfortably, I think. Even without Booker. Give me, I think the Spurs, as much as you think that they get the better of us occasionally, I think we're a much better team now. We'll handle that pretty comfortably. And I just don't think Boston can go with us.
Why?
Size, mostly. Aiton, more than anything. I just reckon their bigs are pretty average.
How dare you speak about Al Horford that way?
I'm not a massive Al Horford fan.
You are not Boyd then. You are not an acceptable
Wow.
Look, I respect his longevity. Wow. He's been good for a long period of time. He's sort of one of those guys that flies under the radar, but he's getting on now. I don't think they can go with us inside, and I just think it's been brought up recently in the media. They're pretty selfish. They're easy to read. I reckon Suns will do it easy.
Nate?
Mate, I don't disagree with him, but I agree for different reasons. I do think we'll win the Spurs game. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. Spurs have been playing very well, and we're likely still going to be without Book, so I think we win, but it's going to be a closer margin. If you go back to that, was it the 2006 team that had the 16, 17 win streak, then they lost a couple, then they went and did another run. So I'd like to think we're about to start another run. So I've got the Celtics down for a win as well, and I think that one's going to be a lot more convincing. Al Horford and all his Boyding brilliance has been out with the sore back, doesn't play back-to-backs at the moment. Jaylen Brown's out with a hamstring. And the Celts, when they beat Portland, it was all guards. So it was Tatum and Schroeder with 31 apiece. And Dennis Schroeder's not dropping 31 on Chris Paul. That's not happening.
He lays eggs against us.
What now?
He lays eggs against us.
Eggs, exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. So no, the Celts, we're going to walk through that one. And look, three-day gap between the two games, both at home. I think this week's definitely that sit back and repair week that the guys need.
Am I?
I'm so glad Nate went first. Basically the Spurs is going to be a murder. I don't know. I probably can't say that, can I?
Yeah, why not? It's not an Audi.
Yeah, ass kicking. Nice. Inside joke, guys. Ask later off the chat. Look, Booker's out from what I understand. They've ruled him out already.
He will not play this week.
No.
No?
No.
All right. The news out today or yesterday, I've seen apparently Thad Young's not too happy with the Spurs.
I did see that today, yep.
Yeah, so eat a dick, mate. It's where you are. No, seriously.
Murder you don't want to use, but eat a dick you're fine with.
Hey, mate. He won't be there for long.
I know. But this is a segue for a later topic as well.
He's going to be wearing the jersey you are.
This is no one's going to be wearing this jersey, man. It's custom. Shout out Custom Wear Australia. But yes, getting past that, that's a topic for later on. But yeah, Celtics. Look, I was thinking it was going to be a bit tough when Nate rattled out the ones that are out. Peace.
that we can all agree on.
Yeah, we'll win both games this week. I agree with Nate. I don't think the Spurs are an easy kill, as a lot of people think they are. DeJounte Murray has been sensational this year.
Never even heard of her.
But I think we'll beat them, but we will work hard to do it. The Celtics, Al Horford will go for 75 points. And, sorry, I was channeling my inner Boyd. We'll smash the Celtics. They will look like complete and utter fucking disgrace, which is exactly what they are, Boyd. They are not in the top 6 sides in the East. We will fucking destroy them.
Moving on.
Let's move on. We are up to 60 seconds with. Now, normally we would go in our rotation, but for the second time in a row, fucking Hamo's pulled out on us. We've got a special guest, so we are going to go with a special guest. Ash, this is 60 seconds with you. Hamo, got a clock on? Not clock.
I was going to say, can you see that? All right, hang on. What do we want?
What? What do you...
All right, we ready?
I'm good to go.
Shoot, fellas.
All right, go.
All right. I saw through the week a really interesting stat, and it starts off with the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic. The Dallas Mavericks have been outscored by 110 points while Luka Doncic is on the court this season. The Mavs defense is statistically elite when he is on the bench, and they are on par for when he is on the floor. Even their offensive rating is being worse when he's in the game compared to when he sits. The Suns made the right choice with Ayton at number 1. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm going to go out and say it. How long have I got left, Hamo? 10 seconds. Luka Doncic, you are Europeans Russell Westbrook.
Oh!
Wow,
Oh,
right on the 1 minute.
Stats.
Wow, right on the 1 minute mark. That was beautiful.
I'll tell you right now.
Oh,
I'll tell you right now. You're on for 60 seconds every week. That was a fucking whack.
Ooh.
And you gave
And
me
I love
half
it.
an hour. You gave me half an hour too. That was all I had to come up with something.
You're
That's
gonna
what you
have
got.
to. You're gonna have to come over to my channel, man. We can get some rage out. That's gonna be fun.
That was
I'm a
freaking
garbage man. We've
brilliant.
got plenty. We're filled with rage.
That was brilliant. Nate, rebuttal.
How can you rebut that? That was gold. Just saving that for that punchline for the end there. Delivered it right on the 60-second mark. I love it.
That was the great. Honestly, we practiced a few 60 seconds. That was the best 60 seconds.
If I'd said you were out of time, Ash, what would you have done?
Kept
I would have yelled it louder.
Hamo, rebuttal. Hamo.
Rebuttal. Look, every time Luca comes up in conversation, somehow I feel guilty. Mainly because I think my name in the group chat is still Luca. However,
I thought you were
changed.
going to bring up his mum. I thought, no, honestly, that's normally what you do.
what do I do?
Bring up his mum.
Wow, that's a
Say hi to your mum for me.
Yeah, definitely. But no, Luca, yeah, 100%. At one stage there, I was gearing up for a hatred from Hamo against Luca. I was starting to learn Slovenian just so I could really get to him. But all I can remember right now is Jedese, Luca. And yeah, you might want to tick the box for that, Nate.
Not for children.
But yeah, no, great work, Ash. Loved it. Perfect.
All right, Ash, I'm going to deliver a rebuttal. Spot on, mate. Well, DeAndre Ayton was the right pick. Fuck you, Luca. Fuck your mum. Well, Homo will, but
Please. Twice and once in the morning.
no, honestly, absolutely spot on. Not going to argue it. Let's move on quickly before I get.
Why is it always me? Like I'm the only one.
Let's move on quickly before I get you two. Multi, how we go?
We lost. It was terrible. No, look, I have what we put on. I can't remember which legs failed, but I'm sure it was 2 or 3 of them.
All of them.
We had Bridges for 2 steals, McGee for 8+ rebounds, CP3 for 25+ points, Cam Johnson for 2+ 3-pointers. Yeah, but no, we lost.
2+ minutes.
All right, let's move on. Nate had a suggestion for this week. Nate, what's your suggestion?
Mate, I mean, I'm sick of hearing us talk about the multi, so I can imagine if other people are listening, they'd fast forward, hit that forward 15 seconds thing. Why don't we do something that's a little Suns adjacent, like the topical sort of side of things, and pick a number of the games that are on that day. I think there's like 8 games on the same day as the Suns. So the Celtic Suns game is the national broadcast game. It's on ESPN. So rather than picking legs of the Suns, we pick Suns to win. We all agreed on that. And then we pick the rest of the matches. And if we all agree on who's going to win, we throw that in a multi.
All right. So what are the games?
Celtics and Suns. So we all saying Suns?
Suns? Yep.
Next one is Kings and Hornets. I'd say Hornets.
Where is it?
Yeah, Hornets.
All right.
Where is it?
I haven't actually written this down. I just literally wrote the 2 teams down.
Seriously, where is it?
Have
It's
a
the
look.
fucking Hornets. They are a basket case.
They're better than the Kings.
Full-time
the
coach.
Hornets have got a lot of players out with COVID at the moment.
The
I mean,
Kings
you got
are a
Paul-
fucking basket case. Come on.
Actually, no, that's a good point.
They-
That is a
they've
good
got,
point.
They've got like 4 players out with COVID at the moment. I think they 10-ass today, and it'll catch up to them. So it's
All right,
it's tougher than you think.
That's a
let's
very
look at a
good
different
point.
game.
That's a very good point. They're playing the Sacramento Kings.
So I'm going with the Hornets.
Maybe we should put a line through that in case the game gets postponed.
All right, scratch that one.
The Sacramento Kings versus
Next.
COVID.
Next.
COVID wins.
Awesome. Let's bring the Luca love. Mavs Pacers.
Oh, Pacers for sure.
I can't go with the Mavs on this one.
Yeah, no, I'm going with the Pacers.
Yeah.
Pacers.
We agree.
Lock it in.
Nets Hawks. The rematch. This is a rematch. Either way, Nets Hawks.
I was going to ask who's out for the Nets, but I'd rather ask who's in.
Kyrie's out.
My
Kyrie's
prediction,
way out.
my prediction is scratch a line through this game.
Scratch a line through that one.
Yeah,
There we
fair
go.
call.
Next one, Knicks
Or
and
the Hawks
Raptors.
win.
Knicks.
Knicks.
Yeah, we're
On you,
going
Josh.
Knicks on that one, I think, too.
Around the block. Bucks and Rockets.
Oh, hang on. Giannis is out.
Can we? No, he's not. He rested the last game.
He's day to day.
Hold on, stop. Just an update for the people out there. The greatest winning streak currently in the NBA is held by the Houston Rockets. 6 in a row.
Not
The
bad.
Houston Rockets have won 6 games in a row.
How far do we want to push this multi?
Are we putting a line through it?
Honestly, the Bucks 11 plus.
There you go.
Can we do a 25 plus? Bucks.
Can we do all of that with the variation on just the Bucks game at 11 plus?
Yeah.
In the same multi?
Yeah, of course we can.
There you go. The next one is Cavs and T-Wolves.
Oh, the Cavs. Honestly,
Sneaky good.
the Cavs are my second favorite team to watch right now. They are freaking glorious. Darius Garland is fabulous. Mobley's back.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavs are flying.
Jared Allen
but
is
so
awesome to watch.
So are the Timberwolves.
So T-Wolves have been hitting their stride a little bit more lately, but I kind of agree with you on the Cavs there.
All right. So where's this game?
America.
Mate, we don't usually think this long on the multis, so it's pick it.
Where's the game?
Hang on.
While you're finding that out, we'll think about the next one. There's Pistons versus Pels.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I reckon we put a line through that one.
Scratch it.
And it's going to hurt you to pick the last one, so you might want to pick a line through this one as well. Lakers v Thunder.
Lakers.
You kind of got to say the Lakers. Yeah. Bron's back.
Yep.
Yeah. So throw that one in, and we're just waiting on the location of the Cavs T-Wolves game from.
Everyone says that bloody Bron's back. It's like, yeah, he was.
No,
really
they'll beat OKC.
Yep.
With Bron back, they'll beat OKC.
I reckon we could beat OKC, us four, I reckon.
After last week, losing by 73 points or 75, whatever.
Their confidence is low.
Let's be honest. It all depends on whether Josh Giddey's back.
Yep, the real MVP.
The real MVP.
Did you get all that down,
I enjoyed watching him play this year.
I got all that part down. I'm still trying to work out where the Daffy Duck
is. The funniest episode we've put together in a while.
It's in Minnesota. The game's in Minnesota. Yeah. I'm saying Wolves in Minnesota.
I'm going to concur.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll go the Wolves.
Write it down, Hammer. Wolves.
No, I've got it down here, but I already typed down the Cavs. All right. No worries, guys.
We'll change it.
I'm changing it, but I thought we were all going to go Cavs.
Right, no, so that's the multi. Chuck that up in the Facebook group so everyone can have a look and laugh at us next week.
All right, so clarify. We got Suns over the Celtics, Hornets over the Kings, Pacers over the Mavs, Knicks over the Raptors, Bucks over the Rockets 11 plus, and Wolves over the Cavs.
Correct.
Okay.
And Lakers over Thunder.
Dunsky. Oh, we're doing that too.
Lakers, yeah.
We're just going to put a line through Piston Pels, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, we move into the fun part, and the fun part with Ash now, because Boyd fucking pulled a heartstring. Is that the right terminology?
Gymnastic muscle.
Topical Suns. We've got 4 topics. Just how tough is the second night of a back-to-back? Hammer.
Other than quoting Michael Scott from Dunder Mifflin, I'd say it's pretty shite, personally. It's a very easy opportunity if you're playing the same team back-to-back, especially for your opposition to quickly adapt to what you're doing and have a game plan ready to go. But yeah, I mean, back-to-backs, we've had a pretty hectic schedule the last few weeks. You know, we've had at least 3, possibly 4 games every week the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, back-to-backs for us really hurt, I think, at the moment, especially, you know, being a few guys down. Saric, Kaminsky, Booker's out at the moment. The loss of Abdul Nader for a few weeks was horrendous. And, but yeah, I mean, overall, they do hurt, but it didn't hurt us as much as it did the Warriors.
So keep in mind, last year, in my 60 seconds last week, I rattled off a lot of stats. One of the stats I missed was that we were also the number 1 team for back-to-back results last year. Nate?
Mate,
How hard are back-to-back games?
when I saw you send this out this afternoon, I read that, I laughed straight away because all we've done is listen to Monty over the last 3 weeks. Tell the national media, tell us, tell everyone, his boys love the back-to-back. They don't want to sit down. They don't want to go to training and train against each other. They want to get back into another game. They just want to play basketball. So I think for our team, it's not about how hard is a back-to-back. It's that week in context where they played a hard game, they lost their star, they had a day off, they played one to get a record, they hit a new high, and then they went in damaged, suffered another result with McHale. I think it was compacting factors and context. I don't think you can blame a back-to-back. So I'm going to say back-to-back for our team, not that big an issue when they're healthy.
Ash?
I agree with both you guys. Absolutely. I feel like we're really good with the back-to-backs. We're young, we're sprightly. We got the youth is a massive advantage for us. And yeah, I think for certain teams it certainly is a really big issue. The Warriors proved that during the week as well. And also I agree with you, Hamo. I think everything you said was spot on too. So there's not much more to be said, really. I think, it just depends on the team. The older you are, the harder it is. And I think maybe towards the latter part of the season, the back-to-backs will get harder. So we'll see how we go. I think we're well equipped to prepare with back-to-backs more than anybody, just about. So bring them on.
Good call. I think the back-to-back hurts depending on the opponent. So when we rocked up against Gold State on the back of the Detroit game, and if we had have rolled Detroit easy and been able to rest our starters, we would have been okay. But that was a tough back-to-back. It depends on who your second opponent is. All right, next one. We have an open roster spot. Should we be signing someone with the current injuries we have, Hamo?
Answer to the question, I initially would like to say yes, because we are one possible injury away right up the front center that could really hurt our chances for the year. So I would like to think so. I was looking through the free agency list, and I did not like anyone on there that wasn't either injury prone or just wouldn't suit us. I do have written down here in my notes, though, that I was going to pass this on for possible trade discussion to smarter people other than myself, like Nate and Boyd. But Boyd's not here. So Nate and Ash, pass this on to either one of you guys when Gav gets around here for possible trades. But in terms of free agents at the moment, I seen like Bismack, Biombo. No one, nothing that's going to suit us. So to answer the question short, I'd probably look at beefing up our front, our tall guys.
Ash?
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the free agent pool at the moment. We are thinning out at the 4 stretch 5 position. I think shoring up. I would have thought in the last couple of games we may have seen a little bit of a stick sighting, just out of necessity more than anything. I got a feeling
when we were losing, did you see it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Is an
I think
OnlyFans count that I don't know about?
Yeah, I want to see him play some meaningful minutes, and I don't think Monty trusts him. So it's not going to happen, Gav. So I would rather see a trade more than anything. And I think the one that's been spoken about all year, the Thad Young one, I'm in that camp. I feel like we'd get him in and he would help us for sure, especially with Kaminsky and Dario Saric out. I think he'd be handy.
Mate,
Right, I'll go back to what Hammer was talking about, the free agency pool. And, mate, there's a reason you can't find anything out there. There isn't. There's a reason the Bucks took Boogie, because he's the only thing left out there that they could stick at the centre and not completely embarrass themselves, which they still will.
Yet to be seen.
They still will. There is no free agent to sign. Yes, we need a power forward at the minimum. We need something else down there, especially with Frank, who was about to have an all-star year. You know,
MVP.
Three good games, and he's the new MVP. You know,
It's next Jack Cooley, man.
So I've got 3 names down here. I'm going to start. I've got to mention a 4th one. Did you know Ryan Anderson is still getting paid?
I didn't know that.
5.2 million this year by
Is he
Miami.
still even playing?
He's still getting
What a
paid.
guy.
He's not playing.
He's not playing. He's getting paid though.
So I don't recommend we bring him back.
Did we get him off Houston, or
We
did he
did.
go to Houston?
We
We
did.
got him off Houston.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, moving right along. Mate, there's 3 names I've got here. The first one we've all heard said, Marvin Bagley. For a trade, his salary's worth 11.3 million. He's got a qualifying offer of 14.7 for next year. Does he just need a change in scenery? Would it be interesting to have the 1 and 3 spots in a draft next to each other? I don't know, but it's worth thinking about.
Had a double today in 9.5 minutes.
And so he's played 12 minutes for the season now.
Yeah, basically.
And a half.
So that's what I'm saying. I think he needs a change of scenery. We've seen so many people, players this season, get a change of scenery and do well. So I think that one, I mean, he's not going to charge a lot. Like the
It
Sack
worked
aren't
out
Sack
so
aren't going
well
to get a
for
lot
James
for
Harden.
him.
That change of scenery, man. Like they said, no good strip clubs in Brooklyn.
Well, I was kind of more referring to everything that's going on in
He's coming
Chicago.
from
But
Sacramento,
anyway.
man.
One I do find interesting, and he's slipping down the Clippers rotation. Power forward, centre, 7 foot, 250 pounds, 113 kilos, Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, I'm not saying it's a perfect fit on any of that, but it's a $1.7 million expiring contract that you could probably trade for, and it would fit in exactly where Frank left off, probably with a little more strength at a defensive sort of end.
I like it.
He's only averaging 15 minutes a game there, and like I said, it's an expiring contract. And the last one is something we spoke about in our opening pod for the season. Jock Landale. He signed for 2 years. His first year is the only guaranteed one. He's getting $925K from San Antonio. His $1.5 million on the second year is not guaranteed. So far, he's only played, I think, 3 games for the season, and he's averaging about 3 minutes a game. So you can't tell me that if you waive something for Jock, that they wouldn't at least listen.
Very cool.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I still think from a open roster spot and signing, no, not going to happen. The most we're going to do is trade, and I still think Thad Young is the most obvious piece that we will trade for. But will it happen? Who knows?
And another topic.
All right, we'll move on. Next part. Does the current schedule that we have, 3 games last week, well spread, 2 games this week, does it slow the momentum of our team? Ash.
I would have to say yes. It probably does. I still think, like I said before, I think we're going to get the 2 wins. Same answer as before. Young, fresh legs. We want to keep playing. The boys are just on a roll. Yeah, 100% it does, mate. I agree. I would say yes.
Am I?
You talking about the past week or the upcoming week?
our schedule as a whole?
As a
Bit of
whole,
both.
I think it's been a bit tough like I was saying before, been a bit tough the last couple of weeks. So I think this 2-game stretch might suck as fans, but it'll give us enough time to rest up and especially book and just take our time. And they're nothing games when you look at them. If we lose to them, oh well, shit, so be it. So
Yeah.
just keep rolling.
And that's the point. Does it impact the squad?
I don't think we're going to get beat up about it. Like, if they have a good chat, Monty has a good chat, whatever, and says, look, Book's out, let him rest. Let's get some, B players out on the game, even just take a hit and relax, rest up, get ready for what's coming up before All-Star.
Nice. Nate?
Yeah, I don't think so. And I think this week, if you look at the Spurs game, then there's 3 days off to the Celts game. Then there's 2 games off till the following pod we discuss the Clippers. And then you look at the run from there through the Warriors. It's back to back with Portland, 1 day off Washington, 2 day off Hornets, 1 day off Lakers, 1 day off OKC, 1 day off Warriors. So I think we get a nice little rest week, and then we just charge back into a full swing of momentum. So no, I don't think so. I think it's a nice little.
Sorry, I was only
recharge.
referring about the next week.
I'm referencing the next week as a point where we get some rest and swing back into that winning trend.
Straight back into it.
Timing wise, with the book injury, this is perfect. We actually we're set up well. 2 games this week, 3 games last week. As Nate said, we swing into, I think it's like 4 weeks straight of 4 games. Perfect. So we move on to a interesting piece that I think it was Josh.
Josh Plash, yes.
Josh post this? Yeah. Josh, well done. Brilliant pickup. Really interesting. We're going to talk about the herd. And Colin Hurd posted something about the Lakers will not catch the Suns in the next 5 years. It was a video piece. There was a hell of a lot of info in this.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is roll into Nate, who probably has 2, maybe 3 pages of notes on this. Nate?
Knowing me.
Talk about the herd.
Mate, what I did when I listened to it a couple of times, and I did a Suns column and I did a Lakers column, and I just sort of listened to all the good stuff he said about us and all the shit stuff he said about the Lakers, and then he even threw a Boston comment in there, which I thought I'd save from referencing earlier because we were talking about him. So he's basically said the Suns have 7 out of 10 players in their prime, a Hall of Fame point guard, a lethal shooting guard, a rim protector that can guard anyone, an athletic wing defender. He said, unlike the Lakers, the Suns love their coach. He said, Phoenix are the new...
Not only, he didn't say that once. He said it 4
He did.
times.
He repeated it and repeated it. He even went to the other side and said, Lakers do not like their coach. Phoenix are the new power of the West. He literally said there is a new sheriff in town, talking about the Suns. The Suns are good enough to lose starters and win for stretches. And then he closed on talking about them by saying they have got everything. How good is it to hear someone in a Lakers camp say that? What were you saying before? He opened up by saying, Gav, when the Lakers are good, I make more money.
Yep.
He was very honest about it, but
Yep.
he's obviously not going to make as much for the next 5 years.
Yeah. Yep. And that was my main takeaway. When the Lakers are good, and when the main franchises in America are good, the Lakers, the Cowboys, etc., are good, I make my money. But the Lakers are so far away from these sides.
So he went on to say this about the Lakers. They're Jurassic, old, outdated, tired. AD looks brittle. Westbrook is a disaster. LeBron can't attract young players anymore. Young guys don't want to give their brand to LeBron. The Lakers can't be bad teams with LeBron back. And then when he was having a quick chat about the East, he threw in Boston. It's cute, but it's the regular season. And that just cracked me.
No, that was Washington.
No, he said Boston.
No, he said Washington. It's cute, but it's a regular season. Boston, get out of here.
He
You're no
did
good.
say Washington.
Oh, get out of here, no good. Oh, well.
He said Boston, you're no good. Get out of here. He said the Nets and the Bucks, they will fight it out. Boston, get out of here. Washington, it's cute, but it's regular season.
He said, but the real fight is going to be between the two powers in the West, the
But-
Suns and the Golden State Warriors. But he's
Ultimately,
picking the Suns.
his abuse of the Lakers was sensational. We've been trying to say it for
It's right.
from the start.
Like, it's just right.
Yeah, it's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, okay, yeah, we're all right. We're a little bit biased Suns fans, but I think most of us are still basketball fans in general. You know, we talk about other teams and that. But
Some of us even try to talk about the NBL, but we won't do that again.
Some of us, yeah, but we'll
I'll
still
talk about it.
that.
The Jack Jumpers are 1-0.
Look, the
Go.
Jack Jumpers. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
And we're gonna
just a quick
smash
chat.
Adelaide this week.
Oh, yeah, just like the Hawks did to the 36ers and Aaron's team. Sorry, Aaron.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what the Jack Jumpers are going to do to him this week.
But no,
Darren, please.
yeah, until he abuses the ref again. So basically, just before the Cowherd thing came out, one of my mates who is not a Suns fan at all messaged me and says, why is no one talking about the Suns? I feel no one is talking about the Suns whatsoever. This guy is a Pistons fan, but just a basketball fan in general. You know what I mean? And he even recognised that the Suns weren't getting their fair share. So it's brilliant to have Cowherd come out here and say something, man. And everything he said about the Lakers was true. LeBron's a bum. He's broken down. No one wants to go to LA. They've got inflated contracts for minimal return. And it's a shame for that dynasty that was the Lakers.
And for everyone listening, Ash still is with us. Ash did tell us that he hadn't seen the thing once through the post, so he didn't have a chance to scroll back over it. So we're not ignoring you, Ash. We're just being a little respectful of you for being a guest.
They basically came up and went, the Suns are completely disrespected. And this is why they are a championship contender. No one, well, national media-wise, they don't think they are. But we really are. And most national media is writing us off because they think the Lakers would beat us in a series in the playoffs. And Colin, the Herd video that we're talking about, he goes, if all 4 games were in LA, the Suns would beat them.
Definitely. I love flying under the radar.
And
Bring it on.
he's really good too, man. I love Cowherd, but yeah, I just cut Ash off again. Go, Ash.
No, you're right. Go nuts.
I'm good.
Ash, thoughts?
Yeah, I love flying under the radar personally. I'm in the AFL. I'm a Western Bulldogs fan, and we always fly under the radar. I love the fact about the Suns, and that was one of the things that made me fall in love with the Suns, being the underdog. I love the less notice. Bring it on.
I do struggle with defending the fact that I've been a Suns fan for a long time. Like now that there's bandwagon fans out there, and someone that's been a fan for 2 years starts giving you shit, saying, "Oh, you just on them because they're popular."
Annoying, isn't it?
I love that.
So
Yeah,
annoying.
the guys on this pod, most of the guys in the chat and the girls have been through the suffering. So fuck you.
To the moon.
Yeah. Nate, any other comments about the herd?
None at all. That was just a great piece, and I've had the pleasure of actually having a drink with Josh when the finals were on at Sporting Globe last year. So I saw him post that, and I thought, that was a really good piece that we spoke to. Screw the Lakers, and why doesn't national media give us any credit? So I thought it was worth having a chat, and I'll do my best to try and chuck that piece at the end of this clip as well. If people want to keep listening so they can hear it.
You should.
If
not,
that has been
work,
shared on our Facebook page. Yeah.
Yeah. Worth watching, mainly because it's great to see national media finally paying attention to the Suns. So worth watching. Move on. Wrap up. Last comments. Hamo.
Boyd, wish you were here. Look, just the usual things, guys. For those who only see us on YouTube, we have a Facebook page, Aussie Suns Fans. We have a very successful Facebook page group chat. If you want involved in that, if you're already a member or if you want to be a member, just let us know. And of course, you can find this on YouTube, Spotify or iTunes. Make sure to give us the old like, share and subscribe. And we're trying to bring you more and more content. So like Gav always says, the more you like and share, the easier it is for us to get that out there.
Ash?
Not a lot, mate. Just thanks very much for having me again, guys. It was a pleasure to stand in for old Boydie. It was nice to make his little corner of the chat a little bit prettier for the week.
Ash, you weren't angry enough and you didn't yell at us.
And this pod has run about 30 minutes less than usual.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a real pleasure to be here, guys. And thanks for thinking of me again. And great to have a chat.
Great to have you, Ash.
Brilliant to have you, Ash. And Nate, last comments.
Well, I'm going to go with two. A quick one. Aussie Suns fans, code in Ladbrokes still works. So if you don't have a Ladbrokes account and you want to open a new one, think about your opening balance and pop in Aussie Suns fans. Boyd's mate tested it last week. That's why I bring it up. It still works. Final thought was, how good is national coverage? Being able to go to the pub with your mates and watch the Suns on ESPN. And we're going to get to do it again this weekend when they pants the Celtics.
When they decided to change it from being the Lakers versus the Clippers game and decided to show
how good was that?
Come on.
Lakers versus Clippers, and they went, no, we'll show Suns versus Golden State.
Yeah, 100%. Like, no one wants to see Lakers versus the Clippers. I couldn't name 4 people that play for the Clippers, seriously.
Half the people in that audience would start with a Lakers shirt, and as soon as they started losing, take it off, leave the Clippers.
Do the Homer Simpson backing away into the hedge and then comes back out. Yeah, no worries. But no, like Nate said real quickly too, like Ladbrokes, obviously all of our multis and that are put on with Ladbrokes as well. They're the only ones that we trust to give us the greatest odds and have the best fun and gamble responsibly.
Nice. Like, subscribe, share. All I got to say. Thanks, guys. Hamo, well done.
Thank you very much, guys.
Ash,
always a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure, Ash. Thanks for jumping on.
Cheers, Ash.
And Nate, as always, Marley's shirt. The borders are about to open up, so we gonna do
let's all go have a COVID coldie together.
Well, hold on. Speaking of the borders opening up, Gav, before we go, are we? If the international borders are opening up, I believe we might be making our way to Arizona in March. I believe, if you're going to be man enough to join me. I've got a cook in a steak competition.
Oh, I saw that. Ash, promote your fucking self, will you?
I was lucky enough to win a golden ticket at a competition down here in Victoria, which gets me a ticket into the World Steak Cook-Offs.
What's the name of your
it's
group?
in Texas. My barbecue team, we are called Moist Barbecue. So jump on Facebook and look us up and see all the goodies that we cook. And yeah, so me and my teammate was both been lucky enough to win golden tickets this year. So we are going to Texas in March 10th to the 14th, I believe. After that, unfortunately, it is the Pelicans and the Rockets. But hey, I just want to go and watch some Suns basketball in person, so I'm absolutely hanging.
All right.
Yep.
All right, thank you, everyone, and we will see you next Monday after a whole 2-game stretch.